Climate disaster now displaces more people each year than wars and conflict combined. Flood, storm, and heat wave are uprooting entire community at unprecedented rate. But we still act like climate change is just an environmental issue. In reality, these disasters are destroying homes, destabilizing economy, straining government, and threatening national security. These affect all of us. Climate change is no longer a distant problem. It's already affecting our home, our safety, and our daily life. When floods shut down our road, when food price rise because crop fail, or when our communities depend on the military for rescues and emergency response, our national security is directly at risk. Understand this connection helps us protect our family, our future, and the stability of our country. I became interested in this topic after learning how military leaders, researchers, and global security experts are warning that climate change is now one of the most serious threats to national stability. Through reading reports, analyzing real-world examples, and reviewing expert opinion, I gained a deeper understanding of how climate change affects security, not just the environment. Climate change must be treated as a national security threat because it fuels global instabilities, weakens our military and defense system, and creates growing humanitarian crises that endanger the safety and the stability of our nation. To explain this, I will first highlight the security problem caused by climate change, then examine what drives this threat, and finally discuss the solution nations can take. To understand why climate change is a serious security threat, let us look at the key problem it's already created for nations around the world. Climate change fuels global instability and conflict. When drought destroy crops or when rivers shrink, communities become desperate for food and water. As resources go scarce, competition increases and tension rise. Shepard and his colleagues in 2025 found that even small climate shocks can trigger tipping cascade where environmental stress rapidly escalates into political tension, unrest, or violence. Climate change also weakens national defense and military readiness. Rising sea level, flood, and stronger storms are damaging critically military infrastructure such as naval ports, airfields, and training grounds. According to the U.S. Department of Defense in 2024, extreme weather disrupt training, damage equipment, and reduce military responsibility. When the military cannot function effectively, national security is directly compromised. In addition, climate change creates humanitarian crises that strain national resources. Floods, heatwave, and wildfire displace communities, overwhelm hospitals, and disrupt supply chains. A 2025 review published in Conflict and Health showed that governments are forced to spend billions on emergency relief, while the military often become the first responder. This places further pressure on the national security system. Now, we see the problem created by climate change. It's important to understand what drives this threat. Security threats arise from environmental stress, damaged infrastructure, and overwhelmed institutions. Environmental stress such as heat waves, droughts, and crop failures place immense pressure on the community and increase the risk of instability. At the same time, essential military infrastructure is being damaged by climate hazard. Flooding, coastal erosion, and storm weaken port, runways, and training grounds that are vital for national defense. Climate disaster also overwhelm national institutions. When storm and heat waves strike, government must redirect resources toward emergency relief and recovery. The Conflict and Health Review explained that displacement and health overload hospital and local authorities, making it harder for the nation to maintain stability and security. Because these threats are growing, countries must act quickly and wisely to protect their people. Nations can strengthen security by building resilience, protecting military infrastructure, and improving disaster response. Stronger community resilience can help prevent conflict and instability. Stephen and his team suggest that investment in early warning systems, sustainable water management, and climate-smart agriculture reduce the pressure that leads to unrest. Strengthening institutions also makes society more capable of handling climate shock peacefully. Protecting military infrastructure is equally important. The U.S. Department of Defense recommends upgrading port, airfield, and base to withstand extreme weather, as well as training forces to operate in harsh climate conditions. These actions ensure that the military can maintain defense strength despite climate risks. Finally, improving disaster response system can reduce humanitarian crises. The conflict and health review highlight that stronger healthcare systems improve emergency planning and better government coordination reduce displacement and health emergency. Effective planning save lives and lessen the burden on national resources. All of these findings point to one conclusion: climate change is a direct and accelerating threat to national security. In summary, climate change drives conflict and instability, undermines military readiness, and triggers humanitarian crises that strain national resources. We cannot wait for others to act. Protecting our nation starts with each of us. Support our policy and leaders who treat climate change as a national security priority. Reduce your carbon footprint by conserving energy, using sustainable transportation, and minimizing waste. Raise awareness in your community and online that fighting climate change is not just about the environment. It's about safeguard our life, our family, and our country's future. Every action counts and the time to act is now. Climate change is no longer a distant threat. It's a challenge to our safety, our stability, and our ways of life. Treating it as a national security issue is not optional. It is essential. The future of our nation depends on the choice we make today. Let us act boldly and wisely and protect our country before it's too late. Thank you.